So I usually carry around 6 rods on my kayak, and at any given time I always have 2 lures set up because they consistently catch fish. The first is the wacky worm. If you watch my videos at all, you will know that that is my go-to. But next are these guys, the Ned Rig. These things are great not only in the spring when the water is cold, but also I'm here in June and I'm still slaying fish on the Ned Rig. So first to set up, I have a medium power rod. It's a loose spin cast reel. I got 8 to 10 pound fluoro, and also I tie these guys on with a Palomar knot. If you're new to Ned Rig fishing, I highly recommend you go ahead and grab this kit off of Amazon. This is from Z-Man. If you haven't fished with any Z-Man products before, I really like them because if you do this to any other lure, it's not going to stretch out. And what I like about this is once it's on the Ned Rig, it has a little lure keeper, and once this stuff sets, it's really hard to get off. It'll continue to stay on your Ned Rig throw after throw. All right, there's 4 different ways to fish the Ned Rig. I'm gonna share those with you, and I saved my favorite, which I think is the most effective, until the end. I also got some fishing footage of me utilizing this and actually catching fish. Ned Rig tip number 1, you can just throw this out and do a straight retrieve back, and it'll get kind of a natural swimming motion on the Ned Rig. Now he's like, I don't like this one. It's probably my least favorite, only because I've tried it and I've had the least amount of performance. Ned Rig tip number 2 is that you can drag this thing and then dead stick means to stop it. And I specifically will use that type of retrieve whenever I know that I'm over rocks, because this little metal shroom head is gonna knock against those rocks and it's gonna make that clicking sound. Fun fact, bass have ears, and so they're gonna pick up that clicking sound and it's gonna mimic what it sounds like when a crayfish is kind of flickering along the bottom. So you can kind of drag and dead stick. That's another way that you can retrieve the Ned Rig. All right, the third way that you can work the Ned Rig is basically a swim and glide. You cast this thing out, let it fall, and then you pull it back up. You let it fall, and you pull it back up all the way back to your person. And usually that largemouth bass will smash it on the fall. So this is my second most effective. This is great whenever you're kind of in deeper water and you don't necessarily know where the bottom is, or it's really too far down there and you just want to kind of cover some water with it. That's what I do, the swim and glide. And the fourth way you can use the Ned Rig was my favorite, which is basically stow it out, let it hit the bottom, and kind of pop it back to you. So this is going to be popping on the bottom. The great thing about Z-Man plastic is this stuff is highly buoyant, and so this is basically going to stick in the air, and every time you pop it, it's going to look like this thing is feeding off the bottom. This bass are going to smash it. So I wacky worm fish a lot, and I use it as like kind of a target strategy. So after a couple tugs, if I don't get a hit, I'll reel it in and kind of hit another area. So with the Ned Rig, you don't necessarily need to do that. I mean, bass will hit it. I've had bass hit it a foot from my kayak before. And so to keep it, it takes a little bit more patience to utilize the Ned Rig, but throw it out there, pop, pop, pop. If they're not hitting it, try slowing it down a little bit, and usually that will do the trick. And so the reason I always have a wacky worm and a Ned Rig on board is because I could basically find bass in any depth of water. A wacky worm's gonna get me on the top water, I'm gonna bounce this out the bottom, or I can kind of swim and glide it in the middle of the water column. So this is gonna allow me to find those fish and find them quickly. All right, this is where I wanna hear from you. Let me know what your go-to lures are. You never go out without having these set up. Please let me know in the comments below. I look forward to reading those. All right, enough with me talking about how to use these. Let me show you some footage of me actually using the Ned Rig in action and catching some largemouth bass. Guys, good luck out there. See ya, bye.
feeling on the bottom of the boat. Kind of along on top on the bottom. Pop, 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 pause.
Tell you what, that's a good one. Oh, yeah. There we go. There. I caught this fish yesterday. I caught him again today. I know a mouth like that anywhere. On fire.